and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But
another big surprise came from Floyd Mayweather, who told Terence Crawford to drop his fight with Canelo Alvarez and fight him instead. But that fight will only be for fun. I don't think Floyd Mayweather knows that the fight doesn't help Terence Crawford's already impressive fighting record in any way. It does nothing to his journey to the International Boxing Hall of Fame glory. At best, it's a quick and easy platform to make money for the former undisputed world welterweight king.
One thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he, and Floyd,
bro, keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, bud, keep it real.
I'm never that type.
He thinks that he and Crawford will make more money than Canelo and Crawford for some reason. The essence of this for Floyd was to finally put an end to the debate of who's the better fighter between him and Terence Crawford, seeing Terence Crawford is the only boxer that has the closest boxing record to Floyd Mayweather, which has sparked several debates in the past. Regarding who's the greatest boxer of all time, the fight might happen someday, but it might not be for a while since Crawford is still busy and trying to be the best. The winner fought Canelo for a very long time and worked hard to get this fight. He probably won't give it up.
Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like.
A lot of boxing fans have said mean things about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, but they have refused to take away the 50-0 champions titles. Floyd Mayweather is liked by Terence Crawford, and when asked what they have in common, he had a few more things to say. Crawford praised and accepted Floyd's greatness and called him the king.
Hit and not get hit, and to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know, he's
the pound for pound top fighter in boxing right now is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, I just truly believe he doesn't have to be under my company for me to give a guy props. I'm not like that. You know, if he's ever free.
He then continued highlighting that they have quite a lot in common in some areas, but they're a little different because Crawford feels he takes more chances. He also used to take a lot of risks in his work when he was younger. He largely feels depends on which Floyd Mayweather we're talking about, when one's talking about money or you're talking about Pretty Boy, because Pretty Boy was the seeking killer. Then he started having hand injuries, so he couldn't really keep up with the same power, and he was moving up and facing bigger.
I think, you know, I take more chances.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know,
like Crawford said, they have quite a lot in common. However, boxing fans and supporters have compared both fighters to find the better fighter, and when they did, a news source put Crawford as the likely winner of a fight between the two fighters. When it comes to pure boxing skill, you'd be hard-pressed to find another producer of more sweet science masterclasses than Floyd Mayweather Jr.
On which Floyd Mayweather you talk about? Do you talk about money, or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy fight.
And he's going to go to any company. If he's a free agent, I would love to work with him if he's free. Because I know that what I can do to take him to that next level. Because with Jim Sam, raw talent, hell of a fighter. There's a lot of hell of a fighters out there.
The crisp jab, precision timing, and counter-punching ability all enabled Mayweather to pick his long list of opponents apart, and he did it over 2 iterations of himself.
Got a reach from the left hooks again. He's a lightning hand speed extraordinary. Left hook drops him, and then he hit his head off the en masse here at the engine.
Just as Crawford said, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive boxer, taking the fight to opponents, while Money Mayweather years later would compute and edge opponents out with brilliant boxing. Whichever style you prefer, both pieces of work made the legend, and that is Floyd Mayweather Jr. comparatively. Boxing fans are still in awe of what Crawford did to Spence in his last fight.
To defensive work? Chin.
Whether it was a power jab that he repeatedly snapped through Spence's guard, hitting in traffic, or the timing of his counter punches had showed supreme boxing ability. And it wasn't the first time, but we've never seen it like that against a fighter of Spence's level. When talking about pure boxing ability, arguably nobody should get a push over Mayweather, but Crawford's style of boxing is different yet effective, even explosive in his own right. So how would their boxing stack up if Crawford were to fight Mayweather in his prime and use his lasering shots against Mayweather's disciplined sweet science? Who would make the jab first? Who would be the more successful counterpuncher?
Footwork.
There are so many ways to see this play out that it might be best to call this category a draw. How many times have we witnessed Mayweather lull and finally lure his opponents to the middle of the ring, where he computed information, analyzed it, and uploaded a blueprint to pick his opponents apart? Mayweather took his ring IQ and mantra of hit and not get hit, and basically wrote it to the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Crawford, in being named undisputed at junior welterweight and now welterweight, has shown a high ring IQ himself throughout his career. Mayweather showed hand speed, especially on the counter-punching end, but Crawford slashing angles and whiplashing delivery about owning the edge in speed.
IQ. Legacy.
It's more than one.
Mayweather's 50 wins, 27 came by way of knockout. That's in comparison to Crawford's 40 wins, 31 of them coming via knockout, and he's still active now. Re-enter Crawford's wizardry over Spence, dropping him 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO, decimating a power-punching, body-snatching fighter like Spence, who systematically broke down Kelbrook, Sean Porter, and your Dennis Ugas to become the unified world welterweight champion. Was anything but easy, yet Crawford made it look easy, and his power was a big reason why Mayweather painted in the corner, raising that shoulder into the Philly shell and absorbing shots with his arm while using his free hand to pick his punches. Was defensive boxing turned counter-punching at its very finest.
Look at this defense, unbelievable. You young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you've seen one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. If you're wearing, then he's nowhere. You think you... And again, it's not just hand quickness.
Crawford has some good defense to him as well, but Mayweather took defensive boxing skills to another level of damn near perfection. All thought up, how would a Crawford against a prime Mayweather fight actually go? And who would win? After a tense first round, where each boxer is trying to feel out the other, we see Crawford being the more active and busy fighter early on, launching and scoring shots even if many of them are absorbed by Mayweather's shoulder and elbow. By the middle rounds, Mayweather's style would set in as he'd pepper Crawford with jabs, winning some rounds.
The movement of the head, the way he rolled with punches, look at the way he makes it miss. I mean, here we go. Do a series of punches and nothing really landed. The rip it fight. Well, Mayweather. All right.
Yet with a steady flow of pressure, Crawford's firepower could get to Mayweather enough to hurt the legend at times, as close as we see this one being. Crawford's fighting ability and those whiplashing punches might be just enough to have judges credit him on his pressure and volume en route to a points win over Mayweather's brand of boxing.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo? Fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo. What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight.
Terence Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has voiced his interest in facing Canelo, the reigning super middleweight king. However, the weight disparity between the two poses a significant challenge for the American fighter.
Boot time to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
Former heavyweight champion Ron Jr. shared his view on the clash between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While praising Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer moved toward Canelo as the favorite. The former champion stressed the importance of Canelo's punching power as a decisive factor in the fight.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, you know, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, you know, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What does he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him.
His study underscores Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can apply his technical boxing skills and avoid Canelo's devastating punches, he could stand a chance of pulling off a historic upset. While the possible fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo Alvarez is currently focused on preparing for his next bout.
Around him, he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He willing to take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove that he's the best.
I get it.
This era.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening on a shakeup of the New World Order, where you got fighters that's really 54 at best.
International Boxing Federation interim champion William Skull has been mentioned as a possible opponent. This wasn't always the case for Roy Jones Jr., though the Hall of Fame fighter and current promoter, trainer, and respected analyst. Roy Jones Jr. had earlier shared scenarios in which he sees both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez beating Alvarez. Before going against his former prediction, the two-time 168lb titleist Benavidez has been pounding the table for a crack at Alvarez over the last 2 years. Formerly recognized as the best welterweight in the world, Crawford is open to moving up to weight classes for the chance of clashing with the Mexican star. Alvarez meanwhile maintains that a win against Crawford would do little for his legacy, even though many are giving Crawford a real chance to score the win.
Big for Crawford, I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but I think Canelo's a little big. He showed tonight that he's pretty big, so I probably would rather see
Jones, who fluctuated in weight during the latter half of his career as a 4-division title holder, said Alvarez should continue his career going forward at super middleweight.
Charlo fight Crawford first, and then see how that goes. If he does good against Charlo with the weight, then let's see him come up and fight Canelo. Yes, but not right now. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter.
To take on a Canelo who can actually fight a cruiserweight and maybe give a cruiserweight, especially at this moment, all the hell they can want. If you can't hurt a guy like Canelo, and you don't have height and depth to be able to at least have something to work with, then we're going to see another, what they say, boring fight, not say a smart fight.
Last year, Canelo Alvarez fought on September 14th, around the Mexican Independence Day, and it's only normal that his yearly September fight comes up on September 13th this year. It's been reported that the Mexican King has booked the T-Mobile Arena for September 13th this year as he looks set to take on Terence, but Crawford said that just about a year after his fight against Edgar Berlanga at the same site, a fight that clashed with the UFC, Canelo Alvarez has been rumored to take on Terence Crawford in a potential super fight later in 2025. The Mexican pugilist is a fighting icon and has had an illustrious career. Both he and Crawford are two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world at the time, and a showdown between them would be a spectacle. Canelo Alvarez might be getting older, but age hasn't done anything to slow down his momentum and standing. As the face of boxing, boxing fans haven't been overly pleased with his opponent choices in recent years, with many saying he's avoiding the very best, like David Benavidez.
Being that you obviously, again, appealing Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah.
Despite that, Alvarez has continued to sell out every place he fights at regardless of opponent. The same will happen later this year, as a much-anticipated fight against Terence Crawford has been all but finalized. Everything points to that fight happening on September 13th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, but will Canelo be out of action for that long? It's unlikely, and Boxing Scene may have uncovered the date and place of his next fight. Boxing Scene learned Thursday that fight shows are reserved on the Strip for March 22nd, March 29th, April 5th, and May 3rd, the last of which is a great unknown for now.
I understand the money grab. I understand it's about the bag. Crawford ain't 26. Another major network is saying they packing their bags up. You're gonna see a lot of desperate moves jumping off. You're gonna see a lot of very unrealistic, unorthodox, crazy thinking, crazy guy.
Being that you obviously, again, appealing Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation here first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound, the best in the world, soon to be the super.
For Canelo, that May 3rd date is clearly the one to keep an eye on. Canelo has fought on the weekend of Cinco de Mayo every year since 2019, excluding the COVID year in 2020. 3 of those 5 fights came at the T-Mobile Arena, so we can definitely connect the dots. It's not a sure thing, though. Given how important the fight against Crawford is, Alvarez could choose to take more time off and keep his body fresh. But he doesn't like to take too much rest time if his past history is anything to go by. As for who he would fight, William Skull looks to be the main option. The IDF super middleweight champion has been in talks with Canelo's team since the beginning of the year.
I respect Crawford, he's a great fighter, and I always say that, no disrespect him. But sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which
Canelo, though, is now 34 years old. While he has shown no signs of slowing down, he is arguably nearing the end of his career. In a recent chat with Ring Magazine, Canelo revealed when he might consider hanging up the gloves. He said, admitting that he doesn't know, but also accepting that he's getting closer to retirement obviously, but he believes he's feeling great, better than ever, as he has shown countless times in the ring. But maybe at 38, yeah, he thinks 38 would be the perfect time to start thinking about retirement. He further added that he has had difficult fights and ones he didn't need in those moments. He has taken risks for his whole career. Clearly, he really loves the challenges and what he does, and he tries to show everybody how good he is. He claims he loves to go up and down and wait, and he really never looks at his record and says, I did this. Rather, his trainer always talks about it, and he always shows him the things he has done and all the world champions, and it's very amazing.
You and Terence Crawford as one of the top 5 fights that he wants to see this year. Is that a fight that you're considering now?
We'll see. Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out something.
Canelo Alvarez last beat Edgar Berlanga back in September 2020. For reports suggest his rumored bout against Terence Crawford is close to becoming a reality in 2025. For now, the future of this potential fight remains quite certain. Both fighters have existing commitments, and the possibility of an agreement will hinge on several factors, including contract negotiations and strategic decisions from both teams. There aren't many fighters that had shared the ring with both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The only man to do so inside a professional ring was Amir Khan, suffering stoppage defeats to the pair, and he's already given his thoughts on how a potential Crawford versus Canelo matchup would go.
What do I think of that fight? Yeah. I think that, everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little bit for Crawford.
be a tall task.
There are a few more that have sparred with the two men, though, and one of them has now given his take on how he thinks the fantasy clash could play. That man is middleweight contender Corin Davis, who even took on fellow Canelo, though David Benavidez back in November 2021, having sparred with both Bud and Canelo. Davis told Mill City Boxing that he thinks it would be extremely tough for Crawford and would back Alvarez to get the win. He said that Canelo, of course, is a big guy, and it's going to be a lot. He thinks Canelo can take a punch, so you're not going to hurt Canelo. He doesn't think Crawford can hurt him with one punch. Maybe he can cut an eye or something or bother him to the body. Crawford has to get some flesh on gloves and go to the body, as it's going to be a tall job. Everyone knows Canelo can really fight. He has moves and tricks. It's not easy in boxing. Nothing is impossible, but if he had to bet, he'd put money on Canelo. He corrected that he's not taking anything away from Crawford, but Canelo is great. He thinks Canelo may be able to stop him, as he's a bigger guy, and his one punch can do all the damage. As for Floyd Mayweather, we know little as to why he's wanting an exhibition fight from Terence Crawford.
Face Crawford. But you know, you never know. You never know in boxing. I'll go up and down and fight.
But like Eddie Hearn pointed out when they met earlier this year, Floyd Mayweather mainly goes to exhibitions when he's broke and running out of cash, even when he denied it with Eddie Hearn's recent call-out of Terence Crawford, has raised several questions as to what exactly his real problem is. However, the world sits and waits for the reactions of Terence Crawford to all of these and also waits for the fight that became a product of Crawford's pursuit of greatness, his fight against Canelo Alvarez. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news moments and news and updates in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get told when we drop quality content like this.